Hello, parents and teachers who may be watching. Welcome to Creating Math Ahas for Parents. I'm Dr. Sandy Atkins, Sandy. And first of all, thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed to the channel. It really helps us. So welcome those new subscribers. I hope those of you watching will consider subscribing. But in this video, we're going to look at money in terms of helping your child make sense of money or currency. So it's an objective for many of your children. It tends to be the context problems. The context we use for story problems is around money. But we want to think of we're living in a global society. Many of you travel outside of the US, where I'm located. Many of you travel around and you're experiencing different currencies. Your children are seeing different currencies. So we want to think of approaching money and currency in a way that will help your child no matter where they are. So one thing we want to make sure your child understands is there's information on currency. There's lots of things. And often what I'll do is I'll give children one of each of our US coins in terms of the penny, the nickel, the dime, the quarter. I'll have them look at a coin like the penny and just see everything they can about that penny. And now with the way our mint is, we're getting different looks of pennies and nickels and quarters. So it's important for them to see that they could look at the coin and tell what it is. Now, often they'll say there's a date. And I'll say, oh, well, is there a date on the other coins? See, it becomes this a nice investigation. Is it in the same location? Oh, there's a man on the coin. Who is that man? Right? For us, Lincoln, the different coins, different people, are they all facing the same direction? Can you find that person? Is it going to be the same on every single, say, nickel, every single penny? Okay. They'll see on the back of ours the Lincoln Memorial. And if they have a magnifying glass, at least on some of ours, they might see Lincoln sitting in the memorial, right? They can see the large. So again, it's investigative, but you're wanting them to look at same and different. And the same is true whether you have coins from Australia, for us from Canada, London, right? The UK, going into Europe with euros. There's going to be information on the currency. So you can find out which country it's from, things about the country, and the value. So that's one thing. The other thing is we really want your child to understand there are relationships between the currency. For us, 5 pennies would be equivalent to the nickel. A dime I could make with the 5 pennies. I'm sorry, with 5 pennies and a nickel, with 10 pennies. There are relationships between those pieces of currency. With our notes, you have the dollar, 5, 10, 20, might go up to the 50. Some might see 100. So getting them used to what the notes look like. Okay. And then we want them to understand, as I just shared with our dime, there are many ways to make the same value. Many ways to make the same value of another coin, but when you go to pay for something, even in a vending machine, there are many ways you could put the amount needed into that vending machine. Okay, we want them to understand that. And I know for many of you, you're thinking, oh, well, we just use a card, right? We can just use a card and they pay for that. They aren't dealing with currency. But as I said, quite often, some of the story problems in the elementary grades are dealing with the currency still. So we want them to build that understanding. And think about, I remember an activity I did, which is very long ago, I know, where I used to help my dad roll pennies. And you sat and you made stacks of 10, and then 5 stacks of 10 went into a penny roll. You started counting by the 50s to get the dollars. It seems like a very monotonous thing, but it really helped me with place value when I was a young child and seeing the tens and the consistency and making those relationships. It's a nice activity to do and just getting them playing with those coins. Another is making change. And this one is a great one for practicing a subtraction strategy of counting up. Now, in that strategy, we're going to look at 62 minus 29. One way to do this is to remove the 29 or for me, I'd remove 30 and give one back. I can do that mentally. I don't need paper and pencil. But another way we do that is thinking how much more than 29 is 62. We count up, and that's how we count back change. So this is a total part chart. If you think about 62 as the value I'm trying to get to, I'm starting with 29. What do I need to do to get to 62? So typically we would say the value and think about the counting back change. 29 and 1 is 30, 10 is 40, 10 is 50, 10 is 60, 61, 62. We're counting back the change versus seeing what the cash register tells me and grab that money and put it in their hand. That counting back of change is a really nice math idea and really nicely linked to subtraction. So that's something to practice with your children. So counting back the change, you might see it in that part total. We also do it in jumps on a number line. How far apart are they? Jump of 1 gets me to 30. A jump of 30 gets me to 60. A jump of 2 gets me to 62. Now, context makes a difference. I can't do a jump of 30 if I'm counting back change with US currency because we don't have a 30-cent coin. I can't jump a jump of 2 because we don't have a 2-cent coin. So I have to be familiar with the coins. But I hope you see there's more to it than just recognizing. That's what I learned. How I learned money and about coins when I was younger was recognizing, because all the quarter heads look the same and the tails. But it's much more involved now, okay? So very important to be aware of your currency and what coins we have and how to figure out what it is. So just a simple problem. You buy something for 27 cents, you're going to pay for it with 2 quarters. How would you count back the change? Okay. So I need to know values of the quarters. I need to think about the 27 cents, and this is a counting up. But as I said, I want to get to 30, but I can't make a jump of 3 because I don't have a 3-cent coin. So think about 27, give the penny, 28, a penny, 29, a penny, 30. Then I can count the dime, 40, a dime, 50. We can make this a little harder by saying I only have 1 dime. Now how would I count back the change? How could I count back the change that would need the most coins? The fewest coins. Exactly 6 coins. You see, we can make it more complex without getting larger values that we're working with. I hope that helps in terms of ways to think about working with your child with money. How we might be approaching it in school is getting them to really dig into patterns, what to look for, what to notice, making it fun with investigations, giving them a magnifying glass and let them really look at what they find out on the coin. And as I said, you don't just learn about the value of the coins, but something about the country the coins come from. Please consider giving a thumbs up, share with others, consider subscribing to the channel, and click on that notifications bell so you know when others' videos become available. And again, thanks so much for watching.